How do you travel as a college student, even if you have little money? The answer is studying abroad. Now, before you think, yeah, I've heard of studying abroad, I've seen vlogs or other creators talk about it, well, let me give you 5 reasons why you should study abroad if you like to travel. And spoiler, I think that it's one of the most achievable ways to travel for free. I used to see study abroad content and think, oh, that looks so fun. But it seemed pretty unattainable to spend an entire summer or semester abroad, especially when a lot of the programs can be pretty pricey and would cost more than budget traveling to that location. However, after studying abroad this summer in Costa Rica, I learned that studying abroad is probably one of the best ways, if not the best way, to travel as a college student with no money. And here's why. Number 1, cost savings. Traveling in groups tends to be cheaper than traveling alone. I did a 6-week summer study abroad led by the University of Georgia. I was in a group with 23 other students. Because of this, we were able to do a lot of different activities from tours to excursions at a cheaper average price. Additionally, this program allowed me to stay with a host family that provided food, which allowed me to live in a safe environment for cheaper compared to staying in a hotel and paying for all of my meals. Outside of classes and homework, you have a lot of free time to spend. Of course, you can choose to go out alone, or you can choose to go with your new friends, which of course is going to lead to more cost savings from splitting transportation costs. Finally, tuition can actually be cheaper if you choose to study abroad or exchange with another university. For example, in my program, even out-of-state students only had to pay in-state tuition. And if you decide to exchange with another university whose tuition is more expensive than your home university, most of the time you will only have to pay the lower price of your home university tuition. And number 2, scholarships, grants, or funding. This is probably the most important reason why studying abroad is the best way to travel as a college student. First, if you receive any federal aid from FAFSA or state scholarships like Hope or Zell Miller in the case of Georgia residents, you can apply that to your tuition and program cost. This means that essentially you have the same cost in a new country as you in your current country, and you may only have additional costs such as airfare. And depending on which country you study abroad to, you may even have cheaper cost of living, reducing your usual cost of transportation or food. Maybe you've looked at your university's program list and found out that your costs for living abroad are not the same as living in the US. You can still study abroad for free by applying for scholarships or grants. As someone who applied to a fair amount of scholarships in high school, I doubted the chances of receiving any scholarships or funding for my study abroad trip. However, I applied to 3 scholarships and 1 project grant and got all 4, totaling over $3,000 of funding in addition to federal and state aid. Usually universities have great interest in having their students study abroad because it is a great way to expand one's horizons and learn from others. So I actually found it a lot easier to get scholarships for studying abroad. Number 3, you don't have to worry about scheduling conflicts. One of the hard parts about traveling as a student is scheduling trips when you are not in classes, which can be some of the most expensive times to travel, which are over Christmas, New Year's, and summer. With a study abroad trip, you don't have to worry about traveling interfering with your academic plans. And you won't have to worry about the increased costs that occur during breaks. Also, once you graduate and get an adult job, you probably won't have the time to travel for such an extended period of time. So this really could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in your schedule. Number 4, it's a good intro to traveling independently. Chances are, as a college student, you probably have not had any or many trips where you traveled abroad without your family or friends. Maybe you have always wanted to travel, but you don't have anyone to go with you and are a bit hesitant to go out on your own. Studying abroad allows you to explore a new country relatively independently, with the comfort of knowing that you have other people in that country if you need them. There are actually websites out there to help find travel friends or groups, because so many people want to travel but want at least someone else to enjoy it with. Study abroad solves that problem, giving you built-in friends. And on the flip side, you can also spend your after-class hours and weekends exploring alone if you prefer that. I think you'll find a new sense of independence when studying abroad if it is your first time traveling alone. Number 5, it's an experience you will only have in college. Of course, studying abroad will carry some amount of work, but in my experience, it was minimal. I think that my study abroad this year in Costa Rica was probably the highlight of my life. The truth is, you'll probably have only one opportunity to study abroad, and that is during college. It is such a cool experience getting to travel with other students which can become your new friends, learn from new professors, learn a new language, and develop skills for school and life. I'm a senior now, but if I could go back, I would have studied abroad more than once. I think it's an amazing way to travel the world as a college student and see the world before entering the workforce. If you are looking to travel as a college student, you should look into studying abroad. And I'm just getting this channel started, so if any of these tips or suggestions were helpful or insightful to you, make sure you subscribe because it would absolutely make my day. And more tips for traveling on a budget are coming soon. So catch you later.